We will kick off today's episode with our guest speaker pitching why you should listen to our podcast and follow our journey. Let's get started, folks.
The Green Roof is focused on learning about renewable energy, sustainable energy, and kind of getting that hands-on experience that most college students are looking for. And there's just a lot to learn about sustainability on campus and maybe in our community as well. And I think this podcast really could reach listeners who are interested in subjects like these and can maybe expound on that, and maybe you'll learn something.
Welcome to an episode of Young Entrepreneurs with the Green Roof team of Southern Illinois University Carbondale. We are a cross-university team of young, innovative minds positively impacting the landscape of SIU Carbondale through promoting and installing clean energy. Here, we are highlighting our team's activities and impact through our members, sponsors, and supporters, as well as discussing a new, interesting topic. So buckle up, because we are driving to a more sustainable future. Today we're speaking with one of our team members, Olivia Sapp. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. So before we dive into your involvement with the Green Roof team, would you like to tell the audience a bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and what you like to do?
Sure. So my name is Olivia Sapp. I am currently a junior at SIU Carbondale, and I am studying electrical engineering. I was originally a transfer student from Rend Lake College, and I have just recently joined the Green Roof team this fall semester, and honestly, it's been a pretty great experience. I'm definitely learning a bunch in person, so that's great, rather than virtually, and even participated in a solar competition that will hopefully go on to next semester. I am from the Southern Illinois area, and the Green Roof team has really helped expand my experience in learning about sustainable and renewable energy.
Awesome. So outside of school, is there anything you like to do? Any hobbies? Any pet projects?
Yeah, so I like to go hiking with my family and my dogs, and I really enjoy playing guitar with the praise team at my church.
Well, diving right in, you want to talk a bit about what you did with the Green Roof team this past semester?
Sure, so this past semester I was on the solar team, so I was focusing mostly on the competition we were participating in through NREL. I believe that was also partnered with the U.S. Department of Energy. And so that competition kind of had us as a team design a solar PV system for the Ohio State University. And it was kind of focused on feasibility and how we design it and why we chose to design it the way we did. And my part in that competition had to do with the design of the system on particular buildings at the university, particularly on their medical campus. And it just entailed working with the Aurora application, which you can model the system online and kind of simulate that with the consumption data of the buildings and kind of see how the system's going to work and if the numbers look realistic. So that's primarily what I did with the Green Roof team this semester.
That sounds like a hefty project, because I'm betting the conceptual design was just one aspect of the entire project.
It was, yeah. There were 5 different parts to this this project that we had to submit for the competition.
So it really covered all bases, from not only the design, but like the money side of it and the development, execution, the feasibility even.
Yeah, it covered the financial side. There was a section on agrivoltaics. There was a section on getting different permissions depending on the area you're trying to build in, and things of that nature.
Awesome, cool. So this agrivoltaics, do you want to dive a bit more into that end? It sounds pretty interesting.
I can, but that wasn't really my area. But from what I gather, it's trying to design a PV system in an area where there's, say, like livestock or crops growing, and seeing how that can either positively or negatively impact the area that it's being built in.
Awesome, cool. And definitely like just keeping into account like the local like wildlife, the cattle, any other animals in the area. Yeah. So with the design of the PV systems on the medical campus, did you see any like hardships going through it? Any like learning curves that you got over?
Oh, there was a very big learning curve, definitely. Trying to navigate the software for one, and being pretty new to that. Thankfully, the competition organizers set out some tutorial videos that we watched and rewatched to navigate our way. And one of the difficulties was definitely sizing the system and seeing what kind of energy offset we might want. Another aspect was trying to figure out how to use the inverters, how to connect the inverters, crunching the numbers on that.
So if you had to put it into a bottle on how to go about the methodology, how would you describe it? Designing a PV system?
I would say do lots of research and collaboration. Definitely get guidance from someone who has more experience, like your local solar providers.
So now being in person after a year and a half of being virtual, how did the dynamic change for you from school life and joining different clubs?
So with school being virtual, it does make it pretty difficult to be involved on campus with anything. And then since being in person this fall, I can definitely say it's been great to be in person and look at either the wind turbine or just collaborate in person with the solar competition. And it's really great to be able to look at the physical aspect of what you're working with, what you're looking at, and what you're trying to design.
So with being involved with renewable energy, is that the direction you're wanting to go in the future? Being electrical engineering?
Probably. I'm pretty interested in the whole energy generation aspect as well as renewable energy. And, I think their green roof really gives you that opportunity to learn much more about sustainable and renewable energy.
So you mentioned collaborating with others on campus. Is there anyone specific you got to work with on the solar project or wind project?
So, since I was primarily on solar, I did get to work pretty closely with Steven and Gustavo and Nelson. So, it was pretty great getting to know everyone on the team a little bit more. It became a lot more personable. And it was just great getting that connection.
Definitely, I'm curious on how your connection with like Gustavo and Steven differed. Where Gustavo's a PhD student, well versed in the academia side, while Steven is, I believe, a junior also. So did you see like any major difference on how they thought and how they went about the project and their aspect and their part? So now capping off, and we had the progress deliverable sent in general for feedback. What do you look forward to next semester with the competition?
Oh, definitely looking at the battery side and the financial side. So this semester, I took a brief look at the financial side of the competition, and it was just a beast to tackle. And I would really, really look forward to learning more about that in the spring, in this upcoming semester, as well as the battery storage that we might connect to the PV system at Ohio State University, since that is one of the goals of the competition for next semester. So that'll be really interesting to learn a lot more about.
So with the battery storage side of it, Are you interested in learning more about smart grids and how the energy can be best utilized not only environmentally, energy-wise, but financially too? So when you send energy to the grid versus use the battery itself.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in learning more about how that connects with each other as far as the battery storage impacting the financial side of the system.
Awesome, cool, cool, cool. Well, do you have any final words on the green routine before we have a transition to a topic of your choosing?
Final thoughts? I would say being part of the Green Roof team has definitely been a great experience, and it's kept me learning about all these different projects with wind and solar, and I mean I'm excited to continue being part of Green Roof team into next semester. I look forward to it.
Awesome, cool, 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 cool. Now, taking a brief transition, do you want to talk a bit about how you felt transitioning from Ren Lake to SIU?
Sure. So I started off at Ren Lake College right after high school, and the the classes there were fine, but it was more of your core classes, getting those out of the way, and I can definitely say that the math courses at Ren Lake definitely helped. I had a pretty good teacher there, and he was super helpful in explaining things. And the transition from Ren Lake College to SIU, it didn't seem like a big jump at first, but once you kind of experience those university classes, especially if they're the ones that are in your major, it's a bigger jump than you kind of realize. And if you're not focused or not one to really manage your time well, then it can kind of hit you at the beginning. But after you get into the swing of things, it goes pretty well. And I think the connections that you make at SIU is definitely much better than Red Lake College, especially if you join groups like Green Roof Team or others. And I can definitely say that the classes at Carbondale are much more interesting, once you get into your major and you get into that area where you take an interest in things. And I think overall, my experience at SIU so far has been great.
Awesome. So when you transitioned over, were there ways easily to go and make new friends in Carbondale?
Easily, I'm not so sure. It's kind of like you have to put yourself out there a little bit, even though you might be uncomfortable in new situations. You might not make that progress unless you take that first step outside of your comfort zone.
But is there a program like a transfer student? What program? No?
I think it is. I don't know.
Oh, I know because like Tanner talked about it.
I don't know. Well, Tanner's not very helpful in life.
Okay. So I was hoping that was something. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Should have not been this jump since. It's been a while since I've been jump since the last
It's
podcast.
because it's me.
No. Hey, and Amy was the last hard one I had.
I'm just not good at talking.
Neither is you.
Exactly.
Tanner was fine because he keeps talking.
I
He
know,
talked too
Tanner
much.
just talks and talks.
Okay. Okay, 3 minutes would be good. So at Ren Lake, scratch that. So how did you know you wanted to go into electrical engineering?
So at first I didn't know. I had no clue. Coming from high school and entering like college, I was just focused on getting my associate's degree and then transferring to SIU. And then once I was at SIU, I did talk to the electrical engineering chair, and he said, you can try it if you want, take some classes and see how you like it. And my first semester, I ended up taking two electrical classes, one on like the smaller scale side. That kind of gave me a feel for what type of electrical engineering I might be interested in. And I can definitely say after that first semester, I found out that I was more interested in the power system side. So looking at electric motors, generators, uh, renewable energy, things of that nature. Because the devices were interesting, but it's not my forte, honestly. So that's kind of what led me into considering a power specialization at SIU. So it's something to consider, but I'm definitely looking at the power transmission side of things.
So, by any chance, do you know the difference between transmission and distribution in terms of utility scale?
Yeah, so transmission is typically on the higher voltage side, so anything 100 kV and above, and distribution is the lower voltage side. So you'll see that with your smaller substations, sort of in town. They're more likely to have anywhere between 3 to 10 transformers, whereas your transmission side is more likely to have many more transformers and other things. So the biggest difference is just the level of voltage that you're dealing with.
So, do you see yourself working for a utility company, like an Ameren, ComEd type of company?
Yeah, possibly. So I just recently interned at Ameren, and looking into there for possibly a future career. I'm also exploring different options around the Southern Illinois area. I like to stay closer to home, so if that's possible. I've been exploring options at maybe IDOT as well.
That is amazing to hear from the utility side. Is there anything else you would like to add before we conclude our episode today?
Not at the moment. I just think it's really great to be part of the Green Roof team, and I look forward to learning a lot more about sustainable and renewable energy.
And with that, we conclude our episode of Young Entrepreneurs with the Green Roof team. Special thanks to your sponsors, the SIU Research Park, Energy at SIU, SIU Sustainability Office's Green Fund Grant, the University Innovation Fellows, CH Electrical, Enertech, RAS Coatings, AES Solar, Sprague Supply Group, H&F Visions, Silvix Forestry Industry, Nether Chance Studios, Climate Economy Action Network, and many more. And please visit our website for more information and follow us on social media. Stay sustainable, folks.